everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We are very excited to share with you the content that we have today, which is about implementing the Reddit Pixel. So a few housekeeping things before we jump in. You will receive a copy of this presentation as well as a recording of this webinar in your inbox. So don't worry, you don't have to take notes or you can take notes, but you don't have to take screenshots or anything. So we'll send all that to you after. Also, throughout the session, please feel free to ask your questions throughout and we will answer them at the very end. To introduce myself, my name is Kat, and I'm on the channel marketing team here at Reddit. I've been here for about 3 years now, so it's been really fun to see our team grow and see the Reddit ads platform evolve. And so my job here at the channel marketing team is to really help advertisers like yourselves, see the value of Reddit ads and understand how to use our ad products and ad features. And with me to further help explain the value of the Reddit Pixel, I have two Reddit ads and Reddit Pixel experts who I will allow to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda. I'm a senior account manager on the Reddit team, helping clients strategize and run their campaigns. I've been here for 1.5 years and specialize in direct response accounts.
Hey everyone, my name is Austin. I'm on a solutions engineer team here at Reddit. The team helps provide support to advertisers on technical implementation, troubleshooting, and technical questions.
All right, let's dive into our agenda. First, I'll cover the overview and benefits of the Reddit Pixel. Then Austin will do a walkthrough of how to implement the Pixel, including Google Tag Manager, manual implementation, QA, and testing the Pixel. Then we'll review reporting, FAQs, and finally we'll have our Q&A. Reddit Pixel overview and benefits. Let's first take a step back and remind ourselves, what is the Reddit Pixel? So it's a piece of code that you place on your website and lets us track actions people take. Then when you run Reddit ads, you'll be able to see how many people who saw your ads then went to your website and did certain actions like add to cart, purchase, sign up, etc. And so the number one benefit of placing the Reddit Pixel is that you can then measure your campaign performance. You gain visibility on the actions users take, and those numbers get fed into our ads dashboard, so you can easily identify optimizations, what's working well, what isn't. And number two, it allows you to access our retargeting product. The Reddit Pixel allows you to collect your website audience, and so that you can then re-engage with them. Taking a quick dive into the steps of retargeting, we first create a pool of users from the Pixel, and then retarget them with ads on Reddit, potentially with tailored messaging, and finally drive them down the conversion funnel. We've seen retargeting ads can be 40% higher click-through rate than non-retargeting ads, so we usually recommend adding this as an ad group for any and all campaigns. And now we have a retargeting case study from Inkbox, which is a temporary tattoo e-commerce store. They started by running a prospecting campaign and then added a retargeting layer with customized messaging to re-engage people who had come to their site but not purchased. And then as you can see on the right, they had great success with 86% lower cost per purchase than their prospecting campaign, 1.5 higher click-through rate, and it lowered the CPA for the overall campaign as well. And it was only with the Reddit Pixel that they were able to unlock this retargeting product. Next, I'll pass it over to Austin for our walkthrough.
Hey everyone, we'll first start off with how to set up the Pixel within GTM. Before we start, in addition to having GTM open up, you may also want to have your Reddit ads dashboard open up on standby, since you'll need to eventually retrieve your account ID from the Reddit ads UI when setting up the Pixel within GTM. You can do that by logging into Reddit dashboard, click on conversion from the dropdown here, and that'll take you to this conversions page, which we'll reference later. But for now, let's begin. We'll go back to GTM. And first, we'll walk through how to install the Reddit Pixel template in GTM. Note that you'll need to do this step if it's the first time you are installing the Reddit Pixel here. So once you're logged in, navigate on over to the templates section on the left hand side panel. On the templates page, click Search Gallery. Now you can search for Reddit in the search field. And when you do, you'll see this Reddit template pop up. Select it, click Add to Workspace, and click Add. And after you click Add, boom, there you go. The template will be ready to use. Now we'll go through how to set up the pixel using this template. Navigate to the Tags tab now on the side panel, and now you can click New, click on Tag Configuration, and here you can search for the Reddit Pixel template that you just installed. You'll probably also see it here, but in case you have a lot, you can search for it like this, select it, and now you'll see it pop up with some necessary fields as part of the template. The first thing you'll see here is this advertiser ID field. This is where you need to fill in your advertiser ID, and note that it will always start with this T2 prefix. You can find your advertiser ID by going back to the Reddit dashboard that you had opened up at the start. You can also get there by just hovering over this question mark next to this field, and there will be a URL here, which will take you to the same place. But I'll just show you how to do it in the Reddit dashboard really quickly. So on the conversions page again, if you hit Reddit Pixel up here, click on Google Tag Manager, and there you go. This will be your advertiser ID. So now you can go ahead and copy that, go back to GTM, and paste it into the advertiser ID field. Now for events to fire. This is a drop-down selection where you can see and select all the available Reddit Pixel event names. You can select which Reddit Pixel event that you'd like to fire for your site's event that you're measuring. We'll use page visit for this example. Next, leave the enable first-party cookies checkbox checked unless you need to disable it for any reason, but it's not recommended since it can affect attribution, so we'll want to leave it checked. Now in the triggering section, this is where you'll select your site's event that will trigger this pixel. For example, if you click this here, we can select all pages, which is a page view type. And this essentially means that on all the pages on your website, this Reddit page visit pixel will fire off. You can go ahead and save this, name it what you liked. You can call it page visit, for example, and hit save. And there you go, now you'll see it. Here's maybe another example if you're trying to set up a purchase. We'll use that same T2 ID again here. And let's say maybe your website has a unique purchase confirmation page that has the word purchase in it in the URL. So this one is a trigger type that you could set up, which basically means that any URL on your site that contains the word purchase will fire this purchase event from Reddit. Now, if you're not sure, you can always reach out to your website developer and they should be able to help guide you in which specific trigger you can configure for each event you're looking to measure. So you might do something like that. So yeah, once you save it, you'll see it show up here, and you can keep repeating these steps to set up any other pixels you have as well. And then once you click submit and push it to the live production, you can check the site and see if the Reddit pixel is now firing. And that's it. That's how you set up the Reddit template and pixel within GTM. Just as a reminder, you can always reference the Reddit help article, which lists out these steps as well. This will be linked in the resources section later on. The instructions will also be outlined if you go back into the Reddit Ads UI under Google Tag Manager. You'll see the instructions here as well. Now we'll go through how to manually implement the pixel if you're hard coding the pixel onto your site instead of using GTM. For this, you'll want to log into your Reddit Ads UI and open up the conversions page. You can do that by selecting conversion from the drop-down menu here. And then on the page, you can go ahead and click Reddit Pixel button. And in the pop-up, you'll see the pixel code here. You can copy this code and paste it into your HTML code on your site. This here is the base pixel code for our page visit pixel event, which you can actually see right here. And we suggest putting it on all pages on your site to get maximum coverage. I'll go ahead and show you right now an example of how to implement it. So first, we'll just want to copy all this over. Now I'm going to go to my HTML editor. This is just for a test page I have. And we recommend placing it between the head tags, for example, here and here, just so they can fire off as early on the page load as possible. So go ahead and put it anywhere in between there. I'll just paste it here. And there it is. Now, if the base pixel is already implemented on the same page, and if you'd like to add additional different pixels on that same page, you can just call an additional RDT track function listed here. And that'll be surrounded by script tags as well. You'll notice that this will look very similar to the track function for the page visit here. So I'll show an example right now of how to implement that as well. So back in the editor, you copy that over. So for example, let's put it here, wherever you're looking to fire it off on the same page. And here's that closing script tag I was talking about, and here's the opening one. And you'll see here the event name. You'll want to replace event name with one of the Reddit supported event names that you can find here. So let's take view content for example. So we can just copy this over, replace event name with view content. Make sure there's no spaces when you copy it over. And that's it. So now whenever you save it, you can check the page to see if the pixel or pixels are firing off successfully. And on here, you'll see a page visit pixel as well as a view content pixel fire off. This function will essentially look for the base pixel on the page, and if it finds it, then it can fire off successfully. So you'll just need to make sure that the base pixel is also installed on the same page when you do this. And that's how you've been able to implement it directly on your site. Just another reminder that you can always check out the Reddit help article for reference on these steps again, which will be linked later in the resources, and you can always reference it here in the conversions page as well if you click on the Reddit help link here. So now that I have the pixel implemented, we'll go through how to check if the pixel is firing correctly on the page, and also how to do a proper test conversion that will get attributed back to the Reddit UI. We'll first go through how to check if the pixel is firing off the page. So this is a basic test page I have, which has some Reddit pixels installed on here. The first thing you want to do is open up the developer console on your browser, which on Chrome and on Mac, for example, you can do by going to View, then Developer Tools. There's also a shortcut command for it, which on Mac is just Command Option I, so you'll see it pop up here. Or you can also just right-click and click on Inspect, which will also open it up. Next, you want to go to the Network tab here. And this is where you'll actually be able to see the pixel request being made. You may also want to check this Preserve Log checkbox. This is optional, but enabling the Preserve Log option means that it won't clear out the request being made every time you refresh or navigate to a new page. This can be handy when you're looking at pixels that fire on an event that immediately navigates to a new page before you can see it if it fired off successfully. So I'll show you a quick example of the differences. So if I leave it unchecked, if I refresh the page, you'll see that every time I refresh, it clears it out and shows only the request being made at that time. If you hit Preserve Log and refresh, you'll see that it remembers everything from before and just leaves it there. So again, this can be especially handy if you have a pixel set up on an event that fires and then redirects to another page immediately before you can possibly see it fire off. So I'll just go uncheck it for now. Now in the filter section here, you can put rp.gif like this. rp.gif is part of the URL in the Reddit pixel request. So anytime you see rp.gif show up, that is coming from the Reddit pixel, and filtering for it will allow you to see the pixel request quickly and easily. Now this login will only begin after you enable the developer console. So if the page is loaded ready before you open this console up, you won't see anything like we saw earlier. But once you have this open up, you have this keyword rp.gif set in the filter, you can go ahead and refresh the page that the pixel is on and the login will begin. So now refreshed. And if the pixel is on the page, you should see a rp.gif request show up in the console, which we do here. So that's good. Let's go ahead and click that. Now on the headers tab, this is where you can actually see the full request URL being made. So right here. So there's a couple of main things you could check in here. The first thing you want to check is just the status code. Make sure that's 200. If it's a 200 status code, it means that it fired off okay. You can also double check the event name and the event parameter. So here you can see it says event equals page visit. Alternatively, you can just scroll down to the query string parameters section here, which will display it a little bit more cleanly. So here I'm checking the event name, which is page visit, which matches the pixel I installed. And this is what we expected to fire off on the page load. You can also check the advertiser ID in the ID parameter right here. And this is your advertiser ID from the Reddit UI. So you just want to make sure that it matches it from your account, because this is where the data will be bucketed. Now this page also has a sign up button here, and I have a sign up pixel installed on there, so I expect it to fire off whenever someone clicks on this button. So if I click this, we should just see an rp.gif fire off, which we do here. Let's go ahead and click that. If you scroll down, now again, this is a sign up pixel I installed on here, so I should see the sign up event, which we do here. So all looks good, and that's how you can check if the pixel is firing off on the page okay. So again, just look for that 200 status code here. Double check the advertiser ID, make sure it's yours. And also make sure that the pixel event that's firing off is the one you set up and expect it to fire. Now, I'll also show you how to do a proper end-to-end conversion test, because even though you see the pixel firing on the page right now, the Reddit pixel will not attribute those conversions unless it's coming from an impression or click of your ad that gets served on Reddit. So in order to do a proper end-to-end test where it will funnel the data back into the Reddit UI, you can use Reddit's test URL functionality to simulate the ad being served in feed. And then you can click on the ad and test URL, which will count the conversion once you click through to the landing page as a pixel installed. So if you go to your Reddit account in the dashboard, and to generate test URL, what you want to do is then go to the ads tab. And for the ad that you're looking to test, go ahead and click on the drop-down menu here, and you click on the create test URL button. This will then generate a test URL that will serve the ad. So once you click create URL, you'll see it here. Creating a test URL will take a few minutes though before the ad starts appearing in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this other one that I already created and it already has the ad loaded. So let's go ahead and copy this and put it here. And there you'll see your test ad. So now once you click it, it'll take you to your landing page that has a pixel on there. And if the pixel is installed on here and you verify that it fired off successfully, the pixel will then attribute a conversion in the Reddit UI. I'll also quickly show you how to see that data in the Reddit UI. So if you navigate back to your dashboard, you can go to the conversion tab from the drop-down menu here. And once on this page, you'll see the status column, which will have 3 different types of statuses. Green, which is active, means that the pixel has detected that it fired off in the last 24 hours. Yellow here means no recent event, which means that it was active at one point, but the pixel hasn't been fired off in the last 24 hours. Red here means it's not fired, so it's never fired and hasn't fired in the past. These statuses get updated once an hour, so if the pixel just fired off, you should expect to see the status change in the next hour. And if you hover over this, that will remind you as well. Now the conversion events data column here, this is where the number of conversions for each event will appear. And this data is based off the attribution window you set, which you can find here by clicking the Reddit pixel button on the top left and the attribution button here. That's where you can set it. Now, quick note on this, you'll see we don't have anything because the conversion events data gets updated once a day. We process all pixel events that occur before the UTC day is over, and then the data gets updated in the UI the next day. So don't be alarmed if you did an end-to-end test right now and do not see the conversion appear immediately. Check back the next day and it should be in there. So just to recap, we went through how to verify the pixel is firing off successfully, how you can do a proper end-to-end test to test an actual conversion, and how you can read the statuses on this conversion page, and when you can expect the data to appear on the conversions page. This information can be referenced in the Reddit help articles, which will be linked later.
Now that you have your Reddit pixel placed, you want to set up reporting so you can see the conversions come in. First, we want to set up your attribution window. Now going back to the Reddit ads dashboard, in the top left there's a drop-down menu where you will select conversion. Then click the Reddit pixel button. From there, click the Attribution tab. You will see options to set attribution type, which is click-through, view-through, or both, and attribution window. Our default attribution window is 1-day view, 28-day click. Now we want to select which metrics we want to see in our reporting. Back in the main dashboard, click the metrics button in the top left. Then under conversions, select the events you want. For example, you might only care about signups and purchases, so you would only check those boxes. Then select apply. In the main dashboard, you'll then be able to see the metrics you chose by scrolling all the way to the right. So now let's cover a few tips and tricks. Our first tip, segment ad groups for easy optimizations. We recommend breaking out ad groups by different targeting segments. For example, having one ad group targeting mobile versus one for desktop. Then, when the conversions start to come in, you'll be able to quickly see which strategy is leading to better performance, and then scale up or down accordingly. Other examples of segmenting can be one ad group targeting sports versus one news, or one ad group with only static creative versus only video creative. And so breaking out ad groups like this really facilitates fast insights and fast optimizations. Another tip is to set a wide attribution window. The more data you capture, the more you can learn about the impact your Reddit ads are having. We recommend 28-day click, 28-day view. You can always play around with the window. It will change how the data is displayed, but not how the data is captured. And some things to note, when comparing reporting from Reddit ads and your third-party analytics partner, a few factors can create a mismatch in metrics. We have some articles that dive deeper. And also third-party wrapped click-through URLs, like DCM tags, can impact Reddit pixel placement. We recommend talking with your account manager to figure out what makes sense for your account. We've got some awesome resources for you, including implementing the Reddit Pixel help article, which includes a step-by-step screenshots of what we've covered here. We also have third-party reporting article, a troubleshooting guide that walks you through different situations, and our retargeting help article that covers setup instructions, best practices, and more. And so with that, I'll pass it over to Kat for the Q&A.
All right, thanks guys. That was a ton of information. I hope you all found this as informative as I did, but let's jump into your Q&A. Hi everyone. Thanks for bearing with me with the snafu earlier, but yeah, just trying to do our best, you know. COVID's almost over, right? But yeah, okay, so let's see. Let's jump into some of the questions. I know you guys have a ton, so let's see. So first, one of the top questions here, will there be a recording of this? Yes, there will be, and I'll send this over right after. So you'll get like a goodie bag. You'll get the recording of this session. You'll get the deck, and you'll get the links to the helpful Reddit articles that we've talked about in the session. So yeah. Okay, so we've got one here. So if I use UTM click tags and Google Analytics for my general reporting, do I still need to place the pixel?
Yeah, so I can take that one. We would definitely recommend still placing the Reddit pixel, even if your source of truth, your reporting is not going to be the Reddit pixel. You still get access to Reddit retargeting, which is great. You can use the Reddit pixel as kind of directional, and it allows you to also see view through conversions. So we definitely recommend still putting it on your website so that it unlocks all those things for you.
Nice. Okay, we have one from Rohit. How does the Reddit pixel know what action is view content, a purchase, or a lead?
I can answer that. So yeah, so it's based off whatever pixel you select and install on the page itself. So Reddit, the pixel won't know itself, but it'll basically fire off whatever event, however you install it. So that's why it's important just to make sure that you have the right pixel event firing on whatever event you're measuring on your site.
Yep. Let's see. Also, oh, thank you, Bilal. Glad you enjoyed it. Oh, sorry, I was reading the comment. That's an awesome webinar. Okay, we have one from Nick. I think this is a general one. How do we determine and receive a Reddit account manager? So I can take that one. So we do have a, a threshold for spend, but we do have a team that we can connect you with to chat further about that. So I'm excited that you're looking for an account manager, and we love to help you out. So Nick, I'll connect with you when I send up the follow-up email. I'll have some additional instructions on that. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm like approving of these. I always make sure, I'm like, don't put your face too close to the screen because then it records your face really close to the screen. But anyways, okay, what are some reasons? Okay, so this one, okay, Josh, we get this one from time to time. What are some reasons there would be large discrepancy between Reddit reported clicks, page views, and GA sessions? So before, we did touch on this as one of our things to note. We have a really great help article that kind of like walks you through the different things that could happen. For example, like cookies or browser settings. So I think that will have a really good explanation of the different situations that can attribute to sort of like a mismatch. So yeah, so definitely check that out. That'll be linked in the deck and in the follow-up email. But do you guys have any, Amanda or Austin, you want to add anything to it, or is that good?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Can we use the Reddit man in our creative? Do you mean the Snoo? He's called the Snoo, the little alien guy. I mean, probably not, because we'd have to make sure that you're going with our brand guidelines. And but I'm glad to know that you like our little guy. Let's see. Sorry, I need to keep these. I'm going to try to focus these only on Pixel, but I think I just got too happy and approved of that one. Okay, let's see if, okay, sorry, I should approve these. We've got another one here from Irvin. Facebook has updated to a 7-day click, 1-day view attribution due to the iOS 14 privacy update. Are there implications? I can, or Austin, do you want to take this one? Or I can talk about a little bit about iOS 14.
Yeah, from the, just really quickly from the Pixel perspective, iOS 14.5 shouldn't really affect us, but it might for like some things down the line for like app install, for example, but not for the Pixel by itself.
And if you're curious about iOS 14 and how we are handling that, I have another great help article that I will send along with this that kind of explains what we're doing and how we're dealing with the situation and the update. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's one from Jen. If an ad agency does not have access to the client website, can a third-party landing page be created to capture traffic? Have you guys come across this? I kind of don't know about this one.
I haven't myself. Maybe it means like a redirect. I'm not entirely sure if she wants to clarify a little bit more.
Yeah, Jen, if you want to add additional context or sync out, when I post the Reddit ads post, we can chat about it in the comments thread as well. So we've got a few ways we can talk to you about this and help you figure out your situation. Okay, wait, she says, she followed up with, can I create another website that they click on that redirects to the client website to track clicks? Okay, this one might be a little complicated. I'll talk about it with the team and kind of come up with some answers for you. And we'll answer this on the Reddit ads post. In the Reddit ads community, so reddit.com/Reddit ads, I'll do a recap post that also has links to this kind of information, links to the recording, and then I'll try to answer your question in the comments thread. This one we might need a little more brain power to think through it. Okay, let's see. We have one here. If we're seeing so more drop-off stuff. If we're seeing a big drop-off from clicks to page views, are there insights to improve it from pixel data? I mean, this one's tough, right? Because we have to figure out what is causing it, and it's like a situational by situation type of thing. But do you or Amanda or Austin have any suggestions, or is it kind of like just looking at that help article and seeing the different situations that could happen from a discrepancy?
Yeah, I would recommend that Reddit help article, and then also, potentially see, if you segment out the ad groups, is it like desktop potentially that is the issue versus mobile or something like that? That could help us figure out exactly where that issue is coming from.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely that tip of segmenting out ad groups is extremely helpful. I know Amanda already talked about it, but it really helps you to, take a look at exactly what's performing, what's not, and be able to really parse it out in that way very quickly and easily in reporting. Jen, a helpful person named Nick says, I think Jen means like Unpoints or HubSpot rather than the client's website domain. So thank you, Nick, for talking that through with us, and we'll definitely gather all this stuff and give Jen a fully fleshed out answer. Okay, let's see. I see one more here. This one is from Rohit, thanking Austin. How will the deprecation of third-party cookies affect the Reddit pixel?
Yeah, so that's also part of the limitations around third-party cookies just by itself, right? So we do have like first-party cookie solution, which is what we currently use right now. Whenever that's why we don't want to like disable first-party cookies in like GTM, for example, just because then when that happens, it falls back to third-party cookies, which has a lot more of the limitations in the across the space, right? So yeah, we encourage using first-party cookies wherever possible, and we are actually working on improving the pixel to improve on coverage as well as we speak. So that will help overcome some of the third-party cookie limitations that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, so sneak peek, end of June, early July, we're going to have some really awesome updates. If you've been rocking with us for a while with the Pixel, you probably know that we've gone through a few reiterations, and that's just because we are continuously trying to make this better. We're gathering feedback from our clients, alpha beta testing, and we're making some changes as we improve the product. So that should come out by Q3 or so. So that's like another reason why you should tune into these, because we'll give you kind of like previews and hints to what's coming with the product. But yeah, I think that's pretty much for the questions. Thank you guys so much for joining.